Have you spotted what I'm seeing right here? Oh yes, I think you might have. Mr. Dirthart himself is dealing with some looters, and that is going to be his fatal mistake. Hello and welcome back to our Sturgian Viking series, and we are now doing battle with the Southern Empire. This is actually one of their larger armies, and I think I've actually just received word that there is an even larger one in our own territory attempting to take Vladiv Castle. And obviously I'm not particularly too big a fan of that, so hopefully they're either going to come and try to stop us from besieging Cyrenea, which is where I still am pretty much, and yes, hopefully they will be a bit distracted by my antics. Who knows whether they will or not. Anyway, I'm gonna try and see if I can what, are you serious? Did you see that? I'm throwing above them. Yeah, I just have too low a throwing weapon proficiency to actually do anything too useful with them, unfortunately. But yeah, what's actually going on here? Why are we? Oh, look at that! There's actually a huge contingent of enemies going this way. And it looks as though most of my allies as well, because I do have a number of allies in this army at the same time. You can see here that I have 187 infantry, and that's pretty much it. That's all I have that I am able to command right now, because they have their own units that they're commanding as far as I'm aware. As you can see, these ones are not selected by me. Oh, no, they are actually. Some of them are. So that's pretty nice. Get him! Oh, that was a nice hit. Oh yes. I'm very much appreciative of these kinds of hits. They really do massive damage, and we're able to thin out the horse archer population just a little bit. No. Okay, yeah. So let me see if I can do something here. We're just going to move them forward, make sure that they keep their shields up as much as they possibly can until they are within deadly range, and then we'll see what we can do. I've got to be very, very careful here as well, because I don't have a shield out right now, so going to have to be a bit cautious. Alright, so we're going to just charge them straight at now, and get them. Yeah, there we go. Oh, loads of them respawning, actually. It seems like the game actually has a bit of an issue spawning in soldiers. Whenever there's a spawn in, they do tend to give me a little frame rate spike, which is a bit weird. I'm not entirely sure why that is. Really shouldn't happen, to be honest, but apparently it does. Anyway, I am distracting a pretty significant contingent of enemies right now, which is pretty good. I'm pretty happy with this. That means that my forces will be able to more accurately defeat the enemies over in the main area there. And I believe that is indeed that. And we ended up losing 68. That is pretty significant, actually. I was not... I obviously wasn't anticipating losing that many, but I guess it's alright, because 68 out of... I think we have over 1,000, so... That's not too bad. It's not too bad. Anyway, I'm just going to try and do as much damage with this bill as I can. Actually, what... Did you see that? Alright, so it looks as though we have indeed inflicted a casualty. I believe Asta is not part of the Sturgians, I believe. Oh, she is? Are you serious? I actually thought she was part of the Imperials. Oh my. Okay, well, we have indeed ended up losing one of our number then, and I am not a big fan of that. Thank you very much. That's pretty awful. Oh well, never mind. At least we were able to defeat a pretty significant enemy force. And hopefully I'm going to be able to do something with these prisoners. Honoratus specifically is going to be executed. Boom, he's out of here. Bannerlord is also going to be executed. The others are going to be left alone because I don't actually know them. I don't know their names. I know Bannerlord and I know Honoratus. So we're just going to be trying to execute as many of those guys as we can. Otherwise, we do have some forces here that I could potentially call to join me. And that's actually what I did previously, of course, because we had them in our army, and then I basically let them go so that they could chase down the army at a much more significant pace. Anyway, I'm thinking we're probably going to continue leveling up our tactics skill here. Hilariously enough, I am now Deceitful Honor -2. That has happened over time because obviously we have been executing people. Yes, that happens. And maybe scouting skill? Scouting skill might actually be really nice too, but I'm going to continue with the tactics. What? Are you serious? I literally just put another focus point in that, and that's all it gave me? It seems like putting attribute points in cunning seems to make more of a difference, but obviously these traits, they're probably not working for me at the moment, but who knows. Anyway, I'm thinking we're probably going to call for another army here. All these guys are nearby, so that's pretty good. And that's it, basically, yes. Okay, so we have 928. We're going to get them all to join us. And then hopefully we'll be able to maybe catch some people here too. Come on, get him. I don't even know how much I have right now. Let's have a look. I've got 3.3. Okay, well, Sicanus, we know him. So if we can take him prisoner, I will indeed be executing him. Basically, any single time we can weaken the opponent in some way or another, then I'm going to try and take that opportunity. Because it's been a while since we've actually done anything so decisive, and I think it does add a whole bunch of, should we say, dynamicism to the game, because all of these units that we're executing here, or most of them, are indeed the leaders of their clans. And as a result, other people are going to be taking over those leadership roles for the clans, and we're going to be seeing so many more people, so many different people, and I think that really does make a big difference to the value of variety, shall we say, the value of the variety that we're going to see in the vassals. So let's have a look and see what's going on with this army composition here. This is Germana. No, Keisha, come back here. Come on. You don't want to do that. Thank you very much. Can you just join me? Can you just join me already? Thank you. Okay, so let's have a look. They still want to fight. No, they're actually besieging Vladiv Castle. Oh, okay, that's interesting then. So that means that they either don't care about us or they are just going back to doing the thing that they wanted to do beforehand. Because if I go and besiege Cyrenea, then their AI will tell them to come over here and basically be like, oh, okay, I'm going to defend this then. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. So anyway, I'm going to see if I can maybe... I didn't really want to do that. Okay, well, I didn't want to do that, but we are in it now, so we might as well make the most of it. Oh yes, let us make the most of it as much as we possibly can. Now, I am slightly injured. That's also the reason why I didn't really want to do this right now, but we do have a pretty significant advantage in terms of combat strength. But as you know, generally I tend to prefer having full HP, just because if I go into a fight, then I'd like to be able to sustain as much damage as possible without dying. And that's actually the amusing part. If I use the same exact strategies and indeed tactics every single time I go into a battle, so for example, if I wanted to stay alive, you know what, that's the easiest part of the game, just literally staying alive. And you may be thinking to yourself, what? How can you be saying this? You, the person that dies in every single battle. Yes, I'm talking about myself, of course. And but yes, that's the point. It is actually quite easy to stay alive. The main issue is going in and surviving at the same time. That's the main issue, because sometime, whether you are the most skilled player or not, it does not matter, because what is going to happen is sometime or another you're going to get a crossbow bolt to the face, you're going to get a thrown weapon thrown at you from all the way, well, somewhere, and you're going to take massive amounts of damage, and who knows, maybe you'll even fall off a wall. But generally, that is what I'm talking about. If you only have one goal, and that goal is to survive and live through battles, then you have a pretty easy time ahead of you, because you can pretty much just do as I'm doing now. You can pretty much just hide behind your units and not engage anyone. that's it. You don't have to engage anyone if you don't want to, obviously. But if your main goal is to do that, then obviously that's absolutely fine. However, for a YouTube series, which is obviously what I'm doing here, me standing behind my troops is probably not the most entertaining thing, right? Yes. Because people say to me, oh, but you know, your combat skill is terrible. Yes, well, I think it probably should be, because generally I'm trying to entertain more than I'm trying to be good. But there you go. That's rather amusing. Yes, that is always rather amusing to me to see those comments, because I'm always like, but you know that this is not how I play in my off-screen time, right? It's not how I play at all. But oh well, you know, that's up to you to decide whether that is indeed true or not. Obviously, that is your own opinion if you want to, you know, think about that. But otherwise, I'm a little bit worried about this, actually. Yeah, we are. We're doing all right. We're doing all right, actually. We're not doing too badly. I have to be very careful here. I am super low in HP. Now, here's the thing. If I'd been full HP before we went in here, I'd be at about 60%, I think. Going to bring out my two-handed. This is not going to be a good idea. Yeah, get him. Ah, nice. There we go. They got him. Kill that guy. I think I'm probably going to get killed by a horse. All things considered. I probably will be killed by a horse. Let me tell my cavalry to charge in. Tell my infantry to charge in as well. Oh, hello. Oh, murdered. Oh, I got killed by a horse. I told you. That was hilarious, though. That was super funny. Okay, well, I think we should be all right. We have done a lot of damage. As you can see, we've basically killed double than what they've killed of ours. So we should be absolutely fine. But it really depends on the combat strength of the opponent, and they generally tend to have a lot of elite units. So let's see what happens. It's getting down to the wire. No. We're starting to spawn in more and more units now, because obviously our armies are pretty even, and generally, well, now that we've eliminated more units than they have by a pretty significant amount, that is indeed a victory for us, and we shouldn't have too many difficulties finishing this up. However, bear in mind that we might see some deaths. No deaths. Okay, fantastic. Good. It's all coming up roses, I guess. Anyway, they've taken these two prisoner, which is not exactly great. I would have liked to have taken Era prisoner and executed her, if at all possible, because I do recognize her name. So it would have been cool to execute her as well. But, oh well. Never mind. I did say I was going to try and execute as many people as I recognize. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. But yes, as you can see by my army at the moment, we literally have 190 almost units that are in a bad spot. So I'm going to go over to Myzea? What? Why was this? Oh yeah, it's because Godun. Yes, Godun defected, didn't he? Yeah, he defected, and that's the reason why Myzea is now part of the Crusades. Because of course we eliminated Mr. Godun in a previous episode, which is rightly deserved, mind you. Rightly deserved. Anyway, let's just sell all of that. It's going to be 41,000 for us. And I'm actually thinking I will just let my army go at this point. Let them just go and do whatever they want to do. And I need to also recuperate my own forces. Now I thought a change of scenery might actually be quite nice. So I decided, hey, okay, let's go and see what the Vlandians are doing, because I have taken quite a few of the Southern Empire prisoner. Didn't really want to go back after getting all my units back on their feet to the Southern Empire's territory, because it is pretty significantly far away. So I think a good idea for us to do now is to literally try and persuade Calatil to join us. Now, in the past, she has joined us for free. She's basically not given us any issue whatsoever, but I think the persuasion has changed. I think the way that the persuading system works has changed in the updates since then. And as you can see, that is indeed the case here as well. Ooh, look at this. She does actually have a town. Interesting. Okay, so let's see what happens. Wow, we can get her. But yeah, I don't really want to spend a huge amount of cash in this case. We have a huge amount of towns ourselves, as you can see right there, and I would have liked... yeah, I would have liked to have gotten her, but not for such an expensive amount. Oh yeah, someone actually did mention that I should try trading prisoners. Alright, so I don't know whether you've seen previous episodes. I would assume not, because I have done that in previous episodes in this series, and indeed in other series as well. Unfortunately, there was a mod, I think it was called... I can't remember what it was called now. It's called something like prisoner something or other. I don't know. It was probably in the description of that series. I think it was in the Khuzait. I think I mentioned it in the Khuzait Khanate series. Anyway, point is, that mod was fantastic. It basically gave you additional options when dealing with prisoners, when dealing with barters, and indeed trades and ransoms and so on and so forth. So these kinds of situations would be really cool, because what you could do is you could basically click here, and boom, look at this. It does nothing to her. Look at that. And now Megan Helder, she's actually part of Vlandia. So obviously Calatil, because she is a Vlandian vassal, it would make sense that me releasing this vassal would be like, oh, that's very nice of you. Okay, great. You know, it's not like it's a person from a different faction, because then obviously she wouldn't really care about that too much. But yeah, basically it makes no difference. Basically it is just, it's nothingness. It does not make any difference whatsoever in what people think of you or how likely they are to join you or to trade you something or whatever. I obviously haven't tried it in peacetime. I think in peacetime it might make more sense to try and do something like that, but the problem with that is that usually prisoners are indeed then released in peacetime, so it makes almost no sense there either, so it is a little bit weird. Anyway, I've also done a little bit of refining when it comes to my thinking about who I'm going to execute and who I'm not going to execute. Basically, the criteria for being executed has expanded somewhat. So I don't know whether you noticed, but we have significantly fewer vassals in here, and there were a couple of female vassals that were part of clans, and relatively strong clans at that. So if there is a last remaining vassal in a clan, and they tend to be, I'm going to say tier 4, maybe even tier 5 or above, we will be executing them. But anything lower than that, we will not be doing that. So, for example, there was a female vassal who was the last person standing in that clan, and I thought to myself, oh, okay, well, let's just get the clan out of the way, and so we went choppy, and that is what happened. So, yes, but otherwise, the same thing with Calatil here as well, because you can see here Sylvind has already been killed, not by me. I think she was just killed in battle, and then we have a number of other people here that will hopefully be able to take prisoner and indeed murder as well. So we're going to obviously do this because Calatil is someone that we know very well. I'm also going to be extremely merciless towards minor factions, but every single other person is pretty much safe from the Executioner's Axe. And speaking of the Executioner's Axe, I will be attempting to make a new weapon in just a second. So we're going to be heading onward to Ostican, because that is where I haven't sold before in a while, and I'm hopeful that there will be a significant amount of cash there. Who's this? What are you doing? Why are you here? Yes, being annoying as always by the looks of things. But yeah, as I say, so basically those are the criteria now. If there are only very few vassals in a particular clan, then I would want to eliminate that entire clan so that they can't utilize the increased party capacity too much. That's basically what I would like to do. But anyway, let's go into Ostican here and hopefully cross your fingers for some good money in the marketplace. 32,000. Yeah, that is not very significant, is it? No, not at all. Oh well, never mind. Let's just sell what we can then, and I actually can't do anything else. I mean, I might buy some horses. Yeah, they don't really have many, do they? Yeah, that is not particularly good, is it? No, not particularly good. All right, well, let's sell all of that. Let's go into the smithy, see what we're gonna do. So, two-handed axe. I don't know what I'm currently using the bill, aren't I? So technically, I'd have to make an axe, and I'd have to use it. Oh, it's such a shame, isn't it? Wait a minute. Is there something that I can smelt? Maybe I've picked up a bardiche of some kind? That would be pretty awesome. I'm not seeing anything right now. Oh, are you serious? We have all the parts from these things? Apparently we do, apart from this one. That's it? Are you serious? Ah, that is actually kind of sad, because I would love this. This looks exactly like an executioner's axe, or very close to it, shall we say. So it would be pretty cool if we could make that happen. Maybe I can make something out of this, but it's not really going to do much, as you can quite clearly tell. It's just going to be kind of awful. Well, let's try it out. Let's see what the difference is between the bill and this, because we're using the same handle as the other one. So the swing speed is going to get a lot better. The handling is going to get a lot better too, and the damage is going to go down ever so slightly. I think I might like this, to be honest. Let me actually just increase this a little bit. I kind of like good swing speed, to be fair. So let's just do this, and maybe swing speed goes down pretty dramatically from that. Let's make it short weapon reach. I don't really care too much about the weapon reach that much. All right, we'll go with something like this, and I'm going to be calling it Storm Pike, following the Alterac Valley theme, I guess. Oh, there we go. We actually unlocked a new part as well. That's actually hilarious. Okay. So let's see what it actually does in comparison to our current weapon. And let's see if I can actually find it first. There it is. Okay, fantastic. Oh yeah, we also made the Frost Chopper, didn't we? Yeah, Frost Chopper... both of these are basically the same thing, actually, but they are a two-handed / one-handed, and the Storm Pike is just a two-handed. So I think I'm actually going to try and use this, because obviously it is an axe, and having an axe really does make a big difference to the theme, and obviously we have turned into kind of an executioner-style character, so it would be quite nice to keep up with that as much as possible. Hopefully, cross fingers, we'll be able to get a bardiche head relatively soon. That would be pretty cool. Now, amusingly enough, Hongard Castle is still standing, and you may have thought, you know, if you saw what happened here, but you may have thought previously in the series, hey, what's the point of getting a castle in the middle of Vlandian territory? Well, this is exactly the reason, because now we have literally a launching pad to pretty much do whatever we want. We can pretty much go here, rest up a little bit, and then move on to the next enemy, and so on. And that's the point. There's no other place in this area that we're actually going to be able to do that, which is pretty valuable in my opinion. Obviously, it does... it's a little bit risky. Oh, hello, Amorcon. Ah, I think I need to do something about you, Mr. Amorcon. Okay, so who's this? Ah. It's a tier 3 clan. Okay, yeah, so tier 3 clans, as I've said before, they're probably going to be left alone by me quite a lot until if they are the last ones remaining, and in that case, then I might very well decide to execute them. But in this case, I'm probably not going to do that, because let's face it, they don't really pose too much of a threat to us right now, and I would very much like to keep the liveliness of the world still active, because otherwise, if you execute every single person you come across, then you're going to be playing Fallout New Vegas, aren't you? Anyway, let's see if we can... yes, Amorcon is going to get murdered, because I really do not like the whole Morcan thing, so I'm going to just get rid of them. That's the cool thing. That's the cool thing about being able to do basically whatever you'd like in the game, although some of the time you can't. Some of the time there's just not too much freedom just yet. Who's he a part of again? He's a part of... yes, he's a part of Deathart's clan. Yes. See, look at that. Amorcon. Hilarious. Alright, well, he's dead. He's certainly dead. Oh, look at that. My relation decreased with Dirthart by 60. He really hates us now. Oh, yes. That is what we want there. We would like the hate to flow through him as nicely as a lightning rod flows through with lightning. Ah, yes, that's a great saying, isn't it? Yes, it's a very well-known saying that I said extremely well. Fantastic. Very good. Anyway, yeah, this is basically what I've been doing, by the way, just literally auto-resolving against vassals that I can get my hands on. And this guy, as I said before, is part of a minor faction, so we will be executing them, because minor factions, in my opinion, are some of the most annoying that you're going to be seeing in the game, because generally they do tend to faction hop a little bit. Obviously, it depends on if they're a mercenary company or a minor faction or both or whatever, but generally they're going to switch sides almost consistently, and it is going to be a very difficult situation to try and lock them all down, and they generally tend to be quite a pain to deal with because they... Oh, wait a minute. Have you spotted what I'm seeing right here? Oh yes, I think you might have. Mr. Dirthart himself is dealing with some looters, and that is going to be his fatal mistake. Oh yes. Dirthart, you are now mine, sir. I've been looking for him, actually. I've been hoping that he's going to be showing himself, and he has indeed made his final error. Oh yes, there we go. Boom. And Erderand is now the new ruler. Did I see Erderand, actually? Isn't he around here somewhere? Look at all these minor factions. Look at all these minor factions. They're all over the place. It's just absolutely awful. Absolutely terrible. Oh, this might be a bit problem. No, never mind. It's not so problematic. Thought to myself, oh, there's 2 vassals. Might have some issues. No, the combat strength is perfectly fine. We can just take them prisoner as well. And yeah, we'll just see what we can do. But yeah, the main issue with the minor factions is that if there's an opponent that's limping along, and they want to be employed by them, or they want to join them to assist them, then they will indeed do that, and it's just very irritating to have to deal with those extra reinforcements. So that's the reason why I'm kind of taking the stance that we should try to eliminate them as much as possible as well. And otherwise, I have spotted Mr. Erderand. Oh yes. Let's see if we can get him too. There we are. Wait a minute. Yep, seems okay to do an auto-resolve. There we are. Nice 5 deaths. And we'll take the loot as well. I'm actually running around with way too much loot, as you can see. Not entirely sure how to offload it, to be honest. There you go. Boom. He's done. Allery is the new ruler. Okay, so I'm gonna leave. Should I? should I bother leaving Vlandir, actually? Because there's so many people that we've executed already, and generally we could maybe do even more damage. I would quite like that, but it seems like Vidar is having a grand old time not being attacked or not having to defend against numerous opponents. So it seems like our plan to distract them a little bit is somewhat working, at least a little bit. So maybe that's a good idea to continue with, but I'm gonna actually buy some horses here. There we go. And then we'll just continue selling all of this. There's just so much stuff, and that's the thing. These things are not even that heavy, so I think I might have to sell some weapons, or I might have to smelt down the weapons or something, but even then, the weapons I think are much, much lighter than the actual trade goods. But I could be wrong about that. I'm not entirely sure. It's been a while since I've looked at the weights of these things, because usually you don't have to worry about weights at all. So, might be something that we want to look at. But amusingly enough, do you realize that Mr... what's his name now? Mr. Person that's part of this clan? Mr. Peric? What? No, Heckard. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, Mr. Heckard is actually dead. Obviously, he died some time ago, but he actually ended up joining Sturgia, and he's stayed with us. His clan has stayed with us this entire time, which I gotta say is extremely surprising. And Maronath, which a lot of people said was a mistake to give him, you know, such a valuable fief, is still in our control. And obviously I've jinxed myself now, and they're probably going to be leaving us in just a second. But, you know, I feel like that's actually kind of cool. I like it. I like that they've stuck with us this long, you know. And they could have easily left, but they didn't. So I'm pretty happy with that. And I'm also very happy that they have over 100,000 gold in their marketplace. What a crazy, crazy town this is. Yeah, they make so much money. They really do. Otherwise, I believe that, yeah, I think they're happy. That's the point. They seem quite happy with their current situation because, of course, Maranath is making them so much money that it basically makes no sense for them to leave. They have everything that they could desire. But that's the thing. Other vassals, they might just have more sort of ambition, shall we say. We could call it ambition. And they generally tend to be quite cutthroat about where they go and what they end up doing and deciding on and so on. And as a result, they might not be happy with the current town distribution or fiefs that they have and so on. Anyway, we're actually taking Varyag Castle by the looks of things. Hopefully they're going to take that, but otherwise I think that's going to be it for this episode. If you enjoyed this video, then please leave a like. Otherwise, next time we are going to be attempting to besiege I think Overhaul. I think Overhaul is going to probably be the best one to go for, and maybe if we can, then we'll try to bait out a couple of vassals, try to execute them as much as we can so that they leave us alone, and then we'll take Varyag Castle, Drapant Castle, and then Praven, and then we'll have a really nice little section here carved out, and I'll try to get ownership over most of this if I need to. But if there's some suitable people that I can pass them on to, then obviously I'll do that instead. Anyway, I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.